Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight I'm going to be talking about the breakdown in which I feel like made this a little bit more deeper than what meets the eye. Now, a lot of people are looking at this like, oh, Chris Rock told a simple joke. Oh, he may have mentioned them in 2016. No big deal. And Will overreacted and he did too much. Now, upon me doing a little bit further investigation and seeing, if this was a bigger deal than what meets the eye, I uncovered that I more so understand a little bit more why the reaction was what it was. And I'm going to break that down for you guys in this video. Now, we're going to go all the way back to the first time that Chris Rock mentioned Jada Pinkett at the Oscars. Now, there's a video circulating of him mentioning her in a monologue and basically saying, how she wasn't even invited, how she tried to boycott the Oscars and things like that. Well, the situation to me, and I feel like looking at it, I can understand why it was a little bit deeper to Jada, is because there was a message behind it and a reason why that she and other actors and actresses were trying to boycott the award show. And I'm going to break it down. So in 2016, it was the second consecutive year of the Oscars where they had all white nominees and no diversity at all. So for the first year, they had all of these nominees and it was a bunch of white actors. There was no diversity at all. So then by the second year, I believe they held the Oscars on Martin Luther King's birthday or something like that. And it was kind of blasphemous to a lot of entertainers, being that there was, again, another year where there was no diversity at all. This was the year where Will Smith had a big movie, Straight Outta Compton. There was a lot of big, powerful not only black movies, but other movies in other categories. And each category got overlooked. And it was nothing but a snow white cast. Okay. And so actors like Jada Pinkett, Spike Lee, and several others, they took a stand to boycott the Oscars. And even Jada, when she boycotted the Oscars, she even, said, despite me, in so many words, I'm going to show it to you guys in a minute, but she said basically, like, in so many words, even though, like, I'm boycotting, she still bigged up Chris Rock in him getting the gig to present. They had all of this controversy of not having any black entertainers, but then they made sure to get a token black guy to be the announcer or the host of the awards of this very controversial show. So for that in itself, it was like, okay, you guys have no black nominees. You have all this scrutiny for no diversity. So they said, you know what? Let's fix it and get one token black guy so that it makes it look like we have a little bit diversity here. And even despite that, Jada didn't even send him any shade. And she actually kind of, say, you know what, it's a job. You got to do your job, and kind of bigged him up. But before we get to Jada, I'm going to read to you guys what Spike Lee had to say in a post around that time. And then I'm going to go down the line and breaking this thing all the way down. Okay? So let me pull up this IG post. So this was posted on January 18th, 2016. And this is Spike Lee calling out the Oscars, and a lot of people was calling out the Oscars with the hashtag Oscars so white. So it was, again, because it was a totally white establishment of nominees and there was no diversity at all. Okay. So he posted up a photo of Martin Luther King, and over in the caption part, this is where he basically addressed here where it says, how is it possible for the second consecutive year all 20 contenders under the actor category are white? And let's not even get into the other branches. 40 white actors in 2 years and no flavor at all. We can't act. WTF. It's no coincidence I'm writing this as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Dr. King said there comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe nor political or popular, but he must take it because conscience tells him it's right. For too many years, when the Oscar nominations are revealed, my office rings off the hook with the media asking me my opinion about the lack of African Americans, and this year was no different. For once, maybe I would like the media to ask all the white nominees and studio heads how they feel about another all-white ballot. If someone has addressed this and I missed it, then I stand mistaken. So this is just a small excerpt of what Spike Lee had to say. And this was very widely controversial as everybody on the ballot on the ticket was all white for the second year in a row. So this is NBC talking about how controversial this award show was.
Controversy that is rocking Hollywood, frustration over the lack of diversity in Oscar nominations, now threatening to trigger a full-fledged boycott by some of the movie industry's biggest names.
A boycott, and it wasn't just simply because Will Smith didn't get nominated. It was because it was no nominations of anybody of color at all.
NBC's Morgan Radford has more from Los Angeles.
With the Oscars just a few weeks away, the buzz isn't about who's nominated, but rather who isn't. There isn't a single actor of color up for a lead or supporting role, prompting the viral hashtag #OscarsSoWhite for the second year in a row. Along with Beasts of No Nation's Idris Elba and Creed's Michael B. Jordan, Will Smith went unrecognized for his role in Concussion. His wife, actress Jada Pinkett Smith, is suggesting people boycott the ceremony.
Is it time that people of color...
All right. So as you see there was big heavy hitter movies, and all of the people on the ballot, as you've seen, were all white actors and actresses and nobody of color. And there was a lot of people talking about this and getting a lot of attention around it because, you know, Straight Outta Compton was a phenomenal film. It was not nominated at all. And there was a lot of other collectively great movies. You see the ticket right here where it is all white, pale faces and nobody of color. I don't even see an Asian. I don't even see anybody else other than white faces. So a lot of people felt some type of way about it. So in addition to the post that I read from Spike Lee, Jada Pinkett had also spoke up about this, and she had took to her Facebook account and she said how important it was for us as Black people to, you know, boycott the spaces that we are not welcome due to there being a lack of diversity. And this wasn't just because Will Smith didn't get nominated thing. This was again, there was none of us represented, and there was a lot of phenomenal films that should have got some type of nomination. So I'm going to show you guys a little piece of this video that she did, and then we're going to get into the monologue that Chris Rock did in 2016.
Hi, today is Martin Luther King's birthday, and I can't help but ask the question, is it time that people of color recognize how much power, influence that we have amassed, that we no longer need to ask to be invited anywhere? I ask the question, have we now come to a new time and place where we recognize that we can no longer beg for the love, acknowledgement, or respect of any group? That maybe it's time that we recognize that if we love and respect and acknowledge ourselves in the way in which we are asking others to do, that is the place of true power.
All right. So here she is making a stand for the collective people, just like Spike Lee and so many other actors and actresses who also made a stand around this time as well. And she's using her platform to bring awareness to an issue of, you know, us being wiped out of the conversation, and it's much bigger than what people try to make it out to be. So again, I'll let her continue. And again, like I said, she even gave Chris Rock his props for being the host and saying, I give you your props in so many words, but we'll get to it.
I'm simply asking the question. Here's what I believe. The Academy has the right to acknowledge whomever they choose, to invite whomever they choose. And now I think that it's our responsibility now to make the change. Maybe it is time that we pull back our resources and we put them back into our communities, into our programs, and we make programs for ourselves that acknowledge us in ways that we see fit, that are just as good as the so-called mainstream ones.
All right. So what she's saying is, although we have BT or whatever, let us put our resources together to make our own shows. Let us be put our resources together to make our own spaces, and we can come together to make a space that is just as good as this so-called, establishment that is not even including us.
Here's what I do know. Begging for acknowledgement or even asking diminishes dignity and diminishes power. And we are a dignified people, and we are powerful, and let's not forget it. So, let's let the Academy do them with all grace and love, and let's do us.
All right? And I'm here for it, Jada. And then after this, she's going to get into making a comment about Chris Rock.
I got nothing but love. Hey, Chris, I will not be at the Academy Awards, and I won't be watching. But I can't think of a better man to do the job at hand this year than you, my friend. Good luck. And to the rest of you, nothing but love, always.
All right. So as you see there, she gives him his props and says, although I'm not going to be watching and although I'm not going to be attending, I couldn't think of a better person to host this award show. Like, I give you my love. I give you my, you know what I'm saying? Like, she gave him his props, like going to attend. Let me bring that back just a little bit. And then we'll see what Chris Rock had to say and break that down.
To do the job at hand this year than you, my friend.
Hold on,
Good
wait.
luck. And to the rest of you, I got nothing but love. Hey, Chris, I will not be at the Academy Awards, and I won't be watching. But I can't think of a better man to do the job at hand this year than you, my friend. Good luck. And to the rest of you, nothing but love, always.
All right. So as you see that, she clearly gave him her props. She was standing for something greater than herself, greater than Will, and she was speaking about us creating our own spaces, and she was looking for us to come together and make our own establishment. So many years people complain about the Grammys. They complain about, all of these award shows that don't give us our just due. And what she was just basically saying is conversations that we've all had amongst ourselves when we're at the cookouts and we're at the kitchen tables and we're talking about the Grammys. We're talking about, Drake pulling his records from being considered, and all of these other artists being, taking their catalogs from being considered, and how, we need to create our own spaces. She said nothing more than what we've been saying ourselves. Well, Chris Rock decided to make a joke about it and tried to make fun of her and say, like, girl, you wasn't even invited anyways. And I can see how she could feel some type of way, like, I'm standing for something bigger than myself, bigger than Will, and I'm making a stance along with Spike Lee and others who are also calling out this establishment or whatever, and you gonna get up there and say that, oh, you wasn't invited anyways, and make me out to be a joke? You know what I'm saying? So then he does that in 2016, which I'm gonna show you in a bit, and then fast forward to 2022, where he is now hosting again. You know, they have made strives to show more diversity. They have worked on, you know, the nominations, and they have gotten better with inclusion. And so now tonight is Will's big night. He's up for a nom. He hasn't gotten an Oscar, and this is his big night. And you made fun of me before. And now on Will's big night, here you are trying to poke at me again about something, a condition that I can't control. I'm going to show you what he said in 2016, and then we're going to get to current. But let me pull this off of the screen, because again, a lot of people are like, oh, you know, he just overreacted. No, sometimes jokes, you know, y'all might think it's just a joke, but don't play with me. And I feel like that's how Jada felt. Like, I'm standing for something bigger than myself. And out of all the people, Spike Lee and all of the other men who also took a stand, you want to single me out and say, oh, you wasn't invited anyways? You know, I could see how she felt some type of way about it. And then to fast forward to 2022, you are then yet still on a big night for her husband, trying to make her the butt of another joke. Let me show it and break it on down, because a lot of people, they don't see bigger than the surface. They just see, oh, somebody popped off, and oh, you know, nobody ever supposed to have emotions, or nobody ever supposed to feel some type of way about stuff, and a joke is a joke, and just laugh, and, you know, hee hee ha ha, and no matter how much you may not like it, just, you know, deal with it. I don't agree. And I felt in my bones that it was more than what met the eyes. And so therefore, I did the research to look into it. To see for myself. Okay. So let's put my other logo on here. And I'm not editing this video, so y'all just gonna get it how it is. We going through it just like that. When I move, you move. Just like that. All right. So let's play what he said in 2016. Now that you've seen Jada's stance, you've seen Spike Lee's stance, you've seen from the news that this was a big, big controversy, that there was 2 years, no people of color at all nominated, and there was several people causing a stir about it, speaking about it, and everything like that. And let's see what Chris Rock has to say.
You know, it's quite like Jada got mad. Jada says she's not coming. Everybody went mad. You know, it's quite like Jada got mad.
All right, so let me bring it back. So he does mention Spike Lee, and he does mention someone else, but it's like very, very quick. And then he singles out Jada, though. It's like, why you didn't keep that same energy for Spike Lee or, you know, the other people?
And Sharpton got mad, and Jada.
Okay, so he said, you know, Spike Lee got mad, Al Sharpton got mad, Jada Pinkett got mad, and it was more than just them. I'm trying to look up the tweets. There was other actors and actresses that were also speaking out about this as well. I don't know, my thumb drive's not pulling up, but
went mad, and Will went mad. Everybody went mad. You know, it's quite like Jada got mad. Jada says she's not coming. Protesting. I'm like, is she on a TV show? Jada's gonna boycott the Oscars. Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited.
All right. So he goes on to say, like, that's like a senseless boycott. Like, girl, you wasn't invited anyways. And it's like, we can still protest things and injustices that are not right. Like, did the stuff that happened with George Floyd happen to me or you? No, but we can still march or have a protest for things that we feel are not right. So for him to kind of make that joke like, girl, you wasn't even invited anyways, I could see how she felt a way about it, being that this was something much bigger than herself, and she was speaking and using her platform to speak out against something that can go against her. You know what I'm saying? And he made it about Will Smith and tried to make it seem like, oh, the only reason that she's mad is because Will Smith didn't get nominated. And then you got the house full of, you know, the white actors and actresses, you know, laughing and thinking it's funny.
Oh, that's not an invitation I would turn down. But I understand. I'm not hating. I understand you're mad. Jada's mad. Her man, Will, was not nominated for Concussion. I get it. Tell the truth. I get it. You get mad. She said it's not fair that Will was this good and didn't get nominated. Yeah, you're right. It's also not fair that Will was paid $20 million for Wild Wild West, okay?
All right. So that's pretty much what he said. He said, oh, you know, she's mad because, you know, Will Smith didn't get nominated. But he also got paid $20 million for Wild Wild West, you know. And for me, I would feel some type of way too. I don't care if you call it a joke or not. Like, if I'm taking a stance against something, you're the token black guy hosting. There's literally no diversity at all. They picked you because there was controversy and it looked better to at least have a token black guy host. So the fact that you would try to take a jab at somebody boycotting something that is about our people, you know, like, this is something that injustice against us, you know, this affects you as well. And you're going to make a joke about like, oh, girl, you wasn't even invited anyways, you know, and try to make it seem like it's about Will when Jada wasn't the only one who spoke out. She wasn't the only one boycotting. There was several people who was also boycotting as well, you know. So he goes on to say a little bit more, and I will play a little bit more.
Okay. Things, this year the Oscars, things are going to be a little different. Things are going to be a little different at the Oscars. This year, in the in memoriam package, it's just going to be black people that were shot by the cops on their way to the movies.
All right. Also, not that funny. I don't watch the Oscars, so I didn't catch this, but also not that funny. Oh, you know, in the in memorial package, you know, because you know how they do at the end of the shows, like the memorial or whatever. Oh, it's just gonna be, you know, people that got shot. Like, not funny. So I could see why, you know, she felt some type of way about that. So fast forward to 2022. Okay, let me take this off of the screen. So fast forward to now, we are in 2022, and this is Will's big night. He already had the situation where Laverne Cox, you know, made the comment about entanglements. And for me, I didn't really, like, a lot of people were in an uproar about the entanglements line. I was just kind of like, you know, I don't know. They kind of talked about entanglements, blah, blah. But, you know, if you keep on pressing somebody and you keep on, you know, eventually somebody is going to have a breaking point. People think that, oh, well, people talk about them anyways. People, you know, say stuff anyways. Like, yeah, if you keep on picking at something and picking at something and picking at something and picking at something, it's eventually going to blow. And so in this moment, Jada is already feeling like, I gave you your props. I said, you know, you were the better man for the job. Like, I couldn't see nobody else do it but you. And you try to, you know, make fun of me. And then now on Will's big night, here you are making fun again. So let me pull that up. Let me pull it up.
Will Smith just smacked the Wow, dude. Yeah. It was a G.I. Jane joke. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. I'm going to, okay?
All right. So that was post smack, but let me go to the joke. Wait, where's the joke at? Hold on, you guys. So you seen that he was like, keep my wife's name out your mouth. And that was after the fact. But hold on, I thought I had the actual. Where did it go? Okay.
Will Smith just smacked the shit out. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
All right. So hold on. Let me make this smaller. So as you see, he's like, Jada, huh? G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. And when Jada seen that, she just rolled her eyes like, again, like, you playing with me again, you know? And Will Smith seen that. And a lot of people, like, at first when I was looking at it, it looked like Will Smith was laughing at the joke. But honestly, upon looking at it again, I kind of feel like Will wasn't laughing at the G.I. Jane joke. He was already laughing from the previous joke before. So he was already laughing, and then he made that joke mid him already laughing. And then he looked at his wife and was like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's kind of how that happened. But let me play this real quick. But, you know, you guys all heard it.
Will Smith just smacked the shit. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay.
That was a nice one. You know how people try to do that passive aggressive, like, I keep digging at you and I keep playing with you, but, you know, that was a nice one. You know, and then you see Jada like, you know, and got mad. So then that's when, like I showed you, Will Smith was like, keep my wife's name out your mouth. After he smacked him up.
Wow, dude. Yeah. It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Ow.
All right. And I feel like people eventually have their breaking points. Now, again, like I said, there was a lot of people who was boycotting this show. There was a lot of people who was talking about it. Let me play a little bit more of NBC's video because, like I said, this was a big thing that Chris Rock tried to make it seem like, oh, you know, oh, Jada's just mad because Will didn't get nominated. But this was a big deal that there was absolutely no people of color nominated. There was this going on a consecutive year. And it's like something needs to be said and something needs to be done. And for the fact of him to try to single her out, like, I could see how she didn't like that. But let me play some more of this.
In the executive offices, where the gatekeepers decide what gets made and what gets jettisoned. Comedian Chris Rock is hosting this year.
Let's do this.
And the Academy's president says it continues trying to be more inclusive.
We're still working very hard and will continue to work hard to bring in more inclusion.
Still critically acclaimed.
All right. So you see that where they're like, oh, well, we're going to try to make it more inclusive. You know, we're going to try.
Director Spike Lee says he won't be attending either and blames Hollywood studios, saying the real battle is in the executive offices, where the gatekeepers decide what gets made and what gets jettisoned. Comedian Chris Rock is hosting this year.
Let's do this.
More inclusive.
We're still to bring in more inclusion.
Still critically acclaimed Straight Outta Compton, distributed by NBC's sister company, Universal, got only one Oscar nomination for the film's writers, who are white. The film's producer acknowledged.
All right. So as you see that, the person who got a nomination for Straight Outta Compton wasn't the actors, but the white writers. Okay? So it's like literally nobody of color got nominated at all. Like, and even when there was a chance to acknowledge Straight Outta Compton got acknowledged for the white writers of the film and not the actual actors who brought the film to life. And I mean, writers deserve credit as well, but it's like, how are you going to credit the writers but not actually credit the people who really delivered the phenomenal performance?
Acknowledging the frustration of many, saying in part, I get it.
I think we'll only continue to see more people boycotting the Oscars. And if not a complete boycott, they are definitely going to voice their opinion.
Which for Hollywood may just be the tip of the iceberg. Morgan Radford, NBC News, Los Angeles.
All right. So I just showed that to show you that for me, as I've looked over things, it appears that this is something deeper than just a simple, oh, it's just a joke that you made or whatever. And I mean, other people could see that as well and be like, well, you know, just take it. But after a while, people get tired of people playing with them. You know, especially if you're trying to stand up for something, you're trying to stand up for your people, and then this guy who, and I like Chris Rock, and this is no shade to him or whatever, but you know, you see there's no diversity, no inclusion, and then they get you to make it look okay, and then you taking jabs at me because I'm trying to take a stand for the people, and I actually gave you your credit. I actually said, you know, gave you a blessing and said that you're really a better man for the job, and tried to, like, you know, do it that way. I mean, I can see why she feel like, and then you're going to try to play with me again. And then on something that I have insecurities about, something that I can't control, you know what I'm saying? And yes, she can wear a wig, but some people just try to embrace the change that they have, you know? And so I just wanted to give you guys that breakdown because I don't think that anybody else was looking at it on that level, and share with you guys what I uncovered and my perspective of this, and get your insight on what you feel. Do you feel like looking at this that it makes you look at it differently, or do you still look at it the same and feel like he should not have got mad about it and he should not have, you know, reacted in the way that he did? His son, Jaden, as I told you guys in the last video, he was basically big upping his pops. He was basically saying, you know, that's how we do it. That's how, you know, that's how it gets done. And he said that his dad's speech made him cry because after he went up and, you know, two-pieced Chris Rock, he then later received his Oscar, and he gave his speech. And when he gave his speech, he talked about how people in Hollywood expect you to just take it. And they want you to just take what people dish out to you and just take the trash talk and take people, you know, talking to you crazy. And he said that he was moved by his father's speech. Not only was he moved, they also showed up to the Variety after party, you know, like we still showing up and showing out, period. They showed up together as a family at the party after the awards show, and all of the kids were in attendance. You had Willow, Jaden, and I don't know what the other one is. His name is something I think with a J too, Josh or something. I can't remember. But, you know, they all were in tow to support their father in this. Now, also, as I share with you guys in the last video, the LAPD did make a statement. And if you guys did not watch my other video, the LAPD stated that they are aware of the altercation. And it says LAPD investigative entities are aware of an incident between two individuals during the Academy Awards program. The incident involved one individual slapping another. The individual involved has declined to file a police report. If the involved party desires a police report at a later date, LAPD will be available to complete an investigative report. So this right here is LAPD saying basically we're aware, but Chris Rock doesn't want to file, or he's declined to file a police report at this point. And if he desires to do one later, we will pursue it. Now, there was also a lot of celebrities who had stuff to say, and y'all know anything against black folks, or, you know, anything that ain't making the whites look good, or blacks looking good in front of the whites, you know, Stephen A. Smith is going to go against this. So he was the first to speak out and, you know, trash talk Will. And this is what he had to say.
Tonight was straight bullshit. Props and congratulations to him for winning the Oscar, because damn it, he deserved it. And I love the brother and I'm proud of him, but boy, was that a shameful act for him to commit tonight. To go up on stage and slap Chris Rock like that, he's lucky he didn't get his ass kicked.
Yeah, I don't think that he would have just, I don't think that Chris Rock would have just easily kicked Will's butt, but okay. So Diddy also spoke about it, and I think Stephen A. Smith, he also was tweeting. He had his Twitter fingers on lock as well about it.
Crazy. You know, shit happens sometimes. My nigga Chris Rock got a chin though. I know ain't nobody even not thinking what I'm thinking. He got a chin. Yeah. It's all love. Crazy.
All right. And then this is 50 Cent. He said, "You have to win Oscars to do this kind of ish. After I win, I'm going to slap the ish out of a few people." Okay. And then this is Drake, who posted up Will Smith as I Dream of Jeannie. Okay. And then Sean King, he posted a post. If you guys want to well, it's kind of cut off, so it is what it is. He just said that, you know, on one hand, it's like, you know, sad that it happened, but, you know, he understands as a husband of a wife who, you know, you want to protect your wife from people playing with them and saying stuff to them. Fabulous says Chris Rock is a real professional because ain't no way. And then Eric Benet says, everybody hugging and consoling Will. Can somebody go check on Chris, a seat filler or somebody? And I kind of made a joke about that in my video as well. I was like, dang, like everybody is consoling Will and nobody is like going after Chris Rock. So I kind of made a joke about that in my first video about this. But that concludes the breakdown, and I can't believe, child, I just been talking, and I didn't tell y'all about the sale that is going on my website. Like, what? Child, was supposed to tell y'all about this in the beginning of the video, but, you know, we here. Got my Black History shirt on because it just felt like it was fitting. But, so on my website, if you guys are new, I do have, like, pajamas, male and female. I have lingerie. I have adult goodies. I got the Rose 2.0, that is. I have some, you know, some toys. I have all kind of stuff that's available on my website. So definitely check it out. And if you go to my website and you put in the code TrueAl, you will get a cute little coin off of your purchase. You get 30% off of your total purchase. Okay. And yeah, support me. And you know, I think that'll be great. If you have not liked this video already, definitely like the video. And if you're not subscribed, you know, subscribe as well, you know, because I tend to try to look at things a little bit differently. You know, I was kind of like in the middle or whatever. Didn't really feel like, yeah, it is what it is. But I kind of understand a little bit more as I've done the research and I got better understanding. And everything ain't to be joked about. Like, a lot of people think that, you know, you put it in a joke form and it's okay. And some stuff is funny, some stuff isn't. You know, some stuff is worthy of making fun of, and some stuff is sensitive topics. So it is what it is. And if you keep on going after the same person's wife, then hey, that person might want to see about you and do something about you going after his wife. With that being said, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoy. Hopefully I didn't stumble too much, because, you know, I just did a straight run through. I still don't know where I had a whole thumb drive of slides and everything of all the other people who were not Black, who were going against this establishment, and I don't see the drive. Now I see the drive at the end. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Wow, at the end. But this is just like one of the slides. I had so more. I'm tired though. I don't even feel like going through it, but you know, this was somebody calling them out, and they said the Best Actress nominees literally all look like the same woman at different stages of her life or whatever. This was one of the posts that somebody made, and then there was another post that I came across. I came across a few of them, and then it says the actual photo of the 2016 nominees of the Oscars, and then I had got a few things that I was going to share with y'all. This person says, they make Trump supporters look diverse. And so there was a lot of people who just it wasn't even black people or Jada or anything. There was a lot of people who were taking a stance against this as well. And so I'm kind of done, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. But make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to visit my website. That really means a lot to me. If you just go browse through it and, just take a look. Take a peek, take a look. I got these bucket hats available. I got accessories. Child, I'm a one-stop shop, okay? So head on over there right now after you leave a comment.